Hey everyone, welcome to Life in Full Send, Athletes Reimagine, the podcast where we discuss the experience of redefining life after being an athlete. I'm your host, Liz Hall, an athlete integration specialist and your teammate in navigating the big question, what comes after sports? Each week, I sit down with former athletes who have faced that very question and share how they navigated the transition. Today, I'm bringing it back to my hometown, Belleville, Michigan, with my guest, Courtney Ivan. She's the reason I started this entire podcast. I interviewed her for a research paper for school. And when we were done, she sent me a text and thanked me and shared that she had told me things that she hadn't shared with her therapist. I knew in that moment that the podcast needed to become a platform for people to share their stories so that others wouldn't feel alone. I also became aware of just how silent the struggle is. She had shared with me that between sports and high school, she experienced a depression. Although she didn't have language for it, she describes it later. We shared so many of the same classes, and I had no idea that she was experiencing that. It woke me up to just how well we hide pain and also how sharing it can help ease the heaviness. We discussed her experience with identity loss after a career-ending injury in collegiate basketball, on winning and on grieving. Let's get into it. If you've identified as an athlete, other people identify you as an athlete, your coach speaks to you as an athlete, the school is now acting as if the most important thing is athletic. Yeah, people have identity loss when athletics is taken off the table. You played in fourth grade, you were CYO. I love that. That's such a throwback to hear up until high school. And then you got a scholarship at Olivet. What was different for you, if anything?
When I was in high school, I was like, I want to go big time. I want to be that D1 player, and had some moments where I was like, I'm not playing anymore. I wasn't going to play. I wasn't going to play my senior year. I wasn't going to play in college. I'm not playing, not doing this. And then even during my senior year, having some offers and some interested coaches, I was like, no, I don't want to play. And it had a change later on because I enjoyed it, loved it, but I decided that I didn't want to be that upper echelon anymore because I had former teammates that were going and playing at those upper places, and it was heavy basketball. I'm not going to go play pro. I don't think I want to do that. I think I want to have more of a slightly more traditional experience, and I wanted to be closer to home. And so I chose Olivet, loved it, but as much as I wanted to try to not be just an athlete, I was just an athlete. I self-proclaim that by my attire. You can always tell an athlete by their walk, by what they're wearing, who they hang around with. I was in my junior season and I ruptured my Achilles third day of practice. I thought someone tripped me. I thought it was Sheena, RIP, but I ruptured it. And then I was afraid that I wasn't going to walk again because they're like, you're going to need surgery. You're going to be in a boot. This is like an 18-month recovery. And so eventually got through the cast and I couldn't walk. And that's always been like a nightmare, so I couldn't be physically active. And that's why I'm like, if I can't do this, then who am I? What am I doing here? So that was the first sense of, if I'm not playing, who am I and what am I doing if I'm not doing a sport?
It is a rush to compete. It just is. It's that adrenaline rush. And there is nothing better than winning. I mean, I'm sure there are things that are better than winning. But my God, I don't even obviously play for Michigan State basketball. But when they win, you would have thought I did win the lottery. You would have thought I did play in the game. But when I'm participating and dominating and winning, I know how it sounds. I don't care. I love it. And there's nothing better.
There isn't. I mean, I have a medal at home from the cruise ship for the dodgeball tournament that we got ourselves talked into with a lefty pitcher from Virginia. And we got him to be on our team. I'd love to win. I have that medal, and it's a little, Carnival Cruise Line thing. But no, I tried to fill it with other things. Like sports has always been, again, who I think I am and what I really lean into, because that's just who and what I am. So I got into coaching, and I loved it. And I've kind of...
Is that filling the void of making those memories? Because you still are making memories with the team.
I think so. And it also, when I was coaching before you get in the game, you get a little anxious, you get the little butterflies in you because, all right, now to prepare them, am I going to be able to make this call right? Like, what am I doing right, wrong, and different? But you don't have that sense of control because you can teach 18 to 22-year-olds what to do at every situation. Now, if they're actually going to do it, completely different situation. You practice the same play every day. They don't run it. We call a timeout. I come up with something in 10 seconds and you run it to a T. But now we've practiced every day for months. We can't figure out how to run that one.
I just see Tom Izzo's face because I know when he gets so fired up, that's what he's thinking. He said it the other day. He said, you've done this over and over and over, and you could read his lips. And so you're right. There's this matter of surrender. Like, okay, I've done everything I could. Let's see what rips.
So like I've done that. Like I've kept myself involved in sport in just different manners, different ways. Like I've tried to feed that competitive passion. So now it's like, okay, what else can I do in it? And that's it. I'll run a race maybe a year, and that's an adrenaline rush, and that's just the whole thing.
So you're finding different things to win at, basically.
Yeah, or lose at. But it's something that gives me now purpose, and that I know that I need to do. And I mean, activity serves me in multiple ways. And that I know that I need it. It's like a non-negotiable for a lot of different things for me to be functional.
If they go pro, it doesn't matter. At some point, there comes a time where there is no next game for every single athlete. So what was your experience when that final game was done and you knew you were done playing basketball at that level?
I would say it was grieving a death of a part of me, because that's what I've always known. That's what people always know of me. Like, you said it, you like, Courtney's always balling. Like, you know, like it's always been me. And I know it's always been a lot of people's, that you've always been that person, that thing, and at any level, I feel like it's a death, and there's a grieving process. I mean, the number of high school athletes that go from high school to college, I think there's the overall percentage is less than 10. So that's a huge still percentage of those that cared and played and that was their passion that didn't get to move on. They didn't get to extend that season. And I don't know if that's better or worse, because you cut it off sooner, you're not as invested. But it was hard. It was tough. It was grieving. It was, who am I now? It was trying to put those thoughts and feelings and giving them validation and giving them words to understand, like what is it that I'm feeling. I feel sad, lost, depressed, but why?
Your level of awareness at 21, 22 might not be, I'm going through an identity crisis.
No, and it wasn't like that. Now I can look back and I knew I was sad that I wasn't playing, and it was like, well, then now what? Again, loss, but not knowing that there was nothing coming up for me to stay engaged or look forward to or hopeful. In a sense, it was, okay, now you're done. You had your last game, you had your last meet. Now what? What are you gonna do? Because you're gonna have a degree. Now where are you gonna go? What are you gonna do? And it's like, hey, boom, here you go. And just trying to find your way, or find a way to get moving. Because again, felt like just kind of treading water. I'm not headed in any direction. I'm just kind of treading water, or I'm walking, and there's 15 different roads, and which one do I take? Because I don't know.
Courtney, thank you so much for being on the podcast, for sharing your heart, for sharing your time. If this episode inspired you, please share it with a fellow athlete or friend navigating their next chapter, because we're all just writing our playbooks as we go. Make sure to follow and subscribe to Life in Full Send, Athletes Reimagined on YouTube. And if you loved that episode, please drop a comment so we can reach more incredible athletes who may need to feel seen and heard. Next week, we will dive in with a former football player from the University of Findlay who has transferred his skills from the field to the principal's office. Fun fact, I was in his wedding. Don't miss out. Until next week, please remember, the game ends, a chapter ends, but your story doesn't. Keep living life in full send.